Next lab we're looking at is 2.14 branches leap year, and this is out of week 2 summative labs. And I assume that you are already in this and you're just advancing the next one. Otherwise, make sure you go through Blackboard to get to this page, or you've already been in Blackboard and continuing on here. So now we're going to take a look at leap year, and there's a lot of rules on here on leap year, which is every 4 years, or in most situations 366 days, an extra day February 29th. Now here's the requirements for leap year. So it must be divisible by 4, and this is interesting. If the years in a century year, it must be divisible by 400. So some examples of leap year, here's 1600, right? And so that's divisible by 4, and that's why that's a leap year there. And here's some other examples. So we're going to use 712, which is a leap year here, and as our input. And I already ran this one, and you'll see I have my points already here, and that's where the input goes. But let's take a look at the code I set up here on it. So I have integer inputting setting that to the input year, and we're going to get that from the input value there. And then I'm going to output that year to output, and then I'm going to continue with, and it's going to come out on the same line is, and I put a space in the front, behind, and after is to give some spacing between the year and the word is. Okay, and this is all on the same line there. And notice I have my quotations there to print that string. Whereas here it's going to print the variable value there. That's the difference there. That's why you have to have these quotations here to treat that as a string. So, and here we're using a comparison statement. So here's the if statement, and we're using the modular operator function. Basically what I'm doing here is I'm taking the input year, using the modular operator, which divides it by 4, and the result of that is going to be a 1 or a 0. And so I'm doing a comparison. That's why you have a double equal sign. It's not one equal sign, or else it would set it to that. The double equal sign is a comparison. So I'm saying if that year, which is divisible by 4, okay, and in this case, let's say it's compares to 0. Then I'm checking if the input year modular divisible by 100, that's the century check, equals, or not equals, but compares to 0. I'm comparing it if it's 0. And if it's also divisible by 400, and in this case not 0, okay, then I'm going to put not to output, okay. So what this is saying, if I take that input year and I divide it by 400, and the remainder of that is a 1, meaning it's not every 400 years. If it was 400 year increment, the remainder would be 0, and this would be true. So this right here, exclamation point with the equal sign, is a not comparison, meaning it's not true. So let's go over this again. If basically it's a century year, but it's not every 400, okay, then it's not going to be a leap year. Else, then here, this else statement is based on this statement here of not being true, meaning it wasn't even divisible by 4, meaning it was not a leap year. So I'm going to put not to output. Otherwise, here, let's go through if it's true. So if this was divisible by 4, okay, that's a true statement, and then it goes through here. It's saying if it's also divisible by 100 with no remainder, and In this case, this becomes a false statement in order for it to be a leap year. So then I'm going to put a leap year to output. Okay, so you're very careful on how you write the logic in this statement right here. This is very important, how that is set up. Okay, so we're going to take our input of 1712. And I'm going to execute. And I'm going to set it slow so you can see what happens. Okay, so it's going to go in there, gets 1712, and it puts out that 1712 in there is, and it's making a check here, and it turns out that statement of, the statement here was false, right? So it jumped all the way out, and it's a leap year. And then you would submit for grading here by clicking on this, and I already have my 10 points there. Take a look at the sample code provided to guide you there.